On November 14th, there will be a BPM and training in Columbia, South Carolina, with some of the top leaders in the area. So you don't want to miss that event if you're in the area. Also this month on November the 21st, here in Little Rock, we will be hosting the Blueprint Conference with BPMs at 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. and training starting at 10 a.m. That is going to be at 501 West Markham here in Little Rock, Arkansas. This is going to be a powerful event, and you don't want to miss out on it. Now, we have training and all different types of events going on all around the country because our team has expanded in just vast numbers. So you don't want to miss out on anything. So please check your back office for all of these different events going on around the country, as well as all of our social media sites that will have the details to these events. We are growing, again, all across the country, and you don't want to miss out on any of the training and powerful information that we share. Now, for those of you that may not know who I am, my name is Lakeisha Nolan. I'm out of North Little Rock, Arkansas, and I am an executive vice president here in my Econ. And what I'd like to do now is share with you what we do here in my Econ. Now, it is important that we understand that we live in a capitalistic society. But what is capitalism? Capitalism is when someone takes advantage of our lack of knowledge. For example, how many of us have actually called in tonight from an iPhone or an Android cell phone? See, those companies capitalize off of our lack of knowledge because we don't know how to make those phones. Therefore, they jack up the prices, and we pay those outrageous prices for these phones. But here in my Econ, we actually want to teach you how to live in this capitalistic society. Now, we actually have two objectives. Our first objective is to maintain our current lifestyle. But what does that mean? It means taking care of the bills, paying your bills, taking care of your kids, going on vacation, taking care of the dog, things like that. And at the same time, we have to have the same money that we're making right now to set us up for retirement. And the federal government actually tells us that we need 12 times the amount of money that we make right now in order to support ourselves in retirement. So how does that look? Say if we make $50,000 right now, well, we'll actually need well over $500,000 to support us in retirement. But for many Americans, that has become a very, very difficult task. Why is that? Because a lot of us are living in what we call the 40-40-40 rule. We work for 40 hours a week for 40 years of our lives just to retire off of 40% of our income. I don't know anyone right now or in retirement that can live off of 40% of their income. But in my Econ, we want you to actually take control of your money. We want you to decide how much money you need for your current lifestyle and how much money you need for retirement. Now, with those two objectives, we have a total of 4 challenges. The first challenge is inflation. Now, inflation is the rise in the price of goods and services all around us, while our income actually stays the same. A great example of inflation is gas prices. Now, we've seen all year long how gas prices have been going up and down, up and down. And they're not just doing it overnight. They're gradually making those changes. But our income is not shifting with those prices. It's staying the same. Now, we're also faced with our second challenge, which is taxes. Now, the average American actually makes about $1 million between the ages of 18 and 60. But I know you're wondering, where in the world is that money going? Well, the first third of it goes to taxes because it's the first thing that comes out of our paychecks before we even get to see them. The second third of that money goes to debt because we've overpaid in our taxes. We have to go out and get all types of loans just to maintain our current lifestyles. And then we're forced to live and retire off of the last third of that $1 million. And most of us don't even know where that money is going. Now, our third challenge is debt. Debt is so common in America that it's not uncommon for us to talk about it. We'll talk about it just like we talk about the shows Empire, Scandal, things like that. And it shouldn't be that common for us to talk about it. But between the ages of 18 and 30, the average American will do these four things. They'll go out and get student loans because many of us are taught to graduate, go to college to get a good job. Then we get credit cards because the credit card companies are telling us that that's free money. And then we go out and get car loans because no one wants to walk to the places they want to go. And then we start families, and we have to have a place for our families to live, so we go out, we'll get a home loan, which puts us into over $200,000 worth of debt, all before we reach the age of 30. But my Econ actually teaches us to get rid of that debt a whole lot faster with a very smart strategy. Now, our fourth challenge, we feel, is the reason for the first three challenges. It's our lack of financial education. We just don't know what to do with our money because we're trying to make money and spend money. Now, if we actually do the research on people who win the lottery, they're broke within the next 3 to 5 years. But why is that? It's because they were never taught proper money management. They just didn't know what to do with the money, or they went out and bought everything that they think they wanted and needed and ended up in the same situation or a worse situation than what they were in. But my Econ actually has the solution for those four challenges. It's three smart solutions. The first solution is to lower or minimize our taxes. We actually teach you to revisit your W-4 to make sure it's filled out correctly, because guess what? 80% of Americans actually have that form filled out incorrectly. But we initially teach you to get back anywhere from $200 to $800 into your pockets. But we don't tell you to just go out and spend that money on the things that you think that you may want or need. We actually tell you to take that money and pay off the debt that's already hanging over your head. Because, see, what you're going to do is you're going to create more cash flow for yourself. And you're going to take that extra money from the W-4 adjustment and that extra cash flow from paying off that debt, and you're going to apply it to our third smart strategy, which is smarter investment education. Because money making money is going to always be more powerful than labor making money, because money doesn't get tired. It doesn't require food, water, sleep, none of that like we do. So why not let it work hard for us instead of us working hard for it? Now, we are truly helping people all across the country and changing lives in my Econ. So if you're a guest on this call, please get back with the person that brought you onto the call tonight so that they can help you get started on your journey to financial success. Now, at this time, what I'd like to do is bring on the line a young man that has truly been changing lives all across this country. He did it in a way that I've only seen a few people do. He created what we call here the One More movement. He's an outstanding young man that has positioned himself to make tons of money in this business. He knows all the facts because he's been trained by the best of the best. He has one of the world's greatest sense of humor, but most of all, he has a passion for helping other people. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on the line Mr. Kevin Young. Kevin, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Keisha. How are you doing tonight?
I am wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm doing great.
All righty. Well, the call is all yours.
Thank you so much, and Keisha, I want to thank you for continuing to do an amazing job. Your growth is just going exponentially, and you're doing a wonderful job as a leader, so thank you.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
All right, so tonight's call, everyone, I'm just so grateful to be on the line tonight. And before I get started, before we start moving to our call, I just want to say thank you to all of the veterans who served our country. Because here's the thing, you've served and protected our country, and we can never take it for granted. So I just want to say thank you to all the veterans. We show our gratitude, and I can speak for everyone on the call to give you a huge thank you for everything that you do. All right, so tonight's call is actually a call that's all about you tonight. We want to focus tonight on the people who are in my Econ and that's having success in their personal finances. So here's the thing. here in my Econ, we are the personal financial success company because everyone's definition of their own personal roadmap is different. I'm going to go a different direction than the people who want to have on the line. My goals are going to be different from yours, and yours will be different from other people's. But tonight we're going to talk about each person's journey to their financial success. And I have some guests on tonight's call that's going to give you their story. See, here's the thing. Stories will create people or allow people to take action. And, just a lot of facts and figures, people look at you like, what's that? What does that mean? Tonight we're going to talk about people's stories and understand why it's important for you to build your own story. So the first person I want to bring on the line has had a ton of success, very, very young. This gentleman I think he's like 20 years old. He got started my Econ at a young age, and he's going to be able to build generational wealth for his family for years to come because he started so young. Mr. Khalil Campbell, are you there? Press star 6 to unmute yourself. Star 6. Khalil Campbell, are you there? Star 6 to unmute yourself. All right, I guess the weather kept him away from the call tonight. So we're going to go to our next person. So this next young lady, I actually had the opportunity to meet with and go inside of her home and do her first home BPM. When she first got started in my Econ, she came to a conference. She was excited about what was going on, and she said, Kevin, I really don't know if I can do the business part, but I do know I want to get my finances in order. But when I tell you that she's on fire right now with the business side, Miss Betty Bohannon, are you there? Press star 6.
Yes, Kevin, I'm here.
How you doing tonight, Miss Betty?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastically well. Just enjoying this weather. I know it's raining outside, but the rain is good as well. So I can't complain about that.
Yes.
So Betty, when we first met, we were at our conference in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I remember you told me directly. You said, "Well, I don't want to do the business right now. I just really want to build my personal financial story." And so your personal financial story, tell us what my Econ has done for you.
Okay. Well, before my Econ, I really didn't know the value or the power of my money working for me. Since my Econ, I've been able to put back an extra $200 into my home monthly. And going forward with my Econ, I look to be out of debt in about 3 years, and I've already opened up an additional 2 investment accounts.
Wow. Hold on, wait. Let me start over at the beginning because I think some people don't understand the power of this. See, the average American only needed an additional $200 to $300 so they won't file bankruptcy. So, Betty, let me be clear on this. You were able to put an additional $200 back into your home, with the first strategy. Is that right?
Yes, that's
and
correct.
Let me make sure I heard this right because, people are staying in debt for 30 years and not get out of debt in 3 years. You'll be completely debt-free in the next 3 years.
Yes, that's correct.
So is that including your home, car, all of that? You're gonna be debt-free?
Debt-free. I'll be debt-free in 3 years.
Wow. We can hang up the call right now, and that's enough for people to get started. And then the last thing you said is that you open up 2 investment accounts?
Yes, 2 additional investment accounts. Yes, that's correct.
So that's not your 401k?
No, that's not my 401k.
Okay.
All that's happened since my Econ.
Since you started my Econ. Now, you know what? That is powerful in itself. And that brings me to my next question for you because, sometimes we just do things without knowing. So why did you get started in my Econ? What was the one thing that made you get started to take action in your own personal finances?
Well, with me being a single mom, and I have a daughter, she's 12, and I know eventually she has to go to college. So I want to be prepared for that. And just when I do retire, I don't want to have to go back to work. So I want to be able to be financially, stress-free and be able to just enjoy life.
You know what? You said something that's very important, Betty, and I want everyone to hear this because you have to understand that people that are retiring, with Social Security alone, they're going back to work within the next 2 to 5 years when they retire. They're going back to work. So my Econ is helping people be able to, when they retire, actually stay up their job, and live life and do what they want to do.
That's true.
So with that, Betty, I have one more question for you, and I really, really want to get this across. This weekend, we're doing an event at McCammon Church of Christ. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And I'm going to be there speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to give some a word of encouragement to the people who may be, thinking about getting started, who may be thinking about actually starting doing the business side. What moved you to start doing the business and telling people about it?
Like I said, I've just been motivated because my daughter is my pride and joy, and I know that I have to take care of her. So anything that I can do to better myself and to change my thinking about the way I think about my money, I want to do that because I want to be able to be stress-free, financially free, and be able to just live. So I just encourage everyone to just, if they can change their mindset about how they use their money, they'll be able to, do great things.
Wow. Thank you, Betty, for all that you do, and thank you for your I call it testimony. Thank you for your testimony and giving us hope. Really appreciate that.
Yes, thank you, Kevin.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So that was our first person. Single mother, has opened 2 investment accounts, looking to retire and stay retired when she does get done, and will be debt free in the next 3 years. See, those are the stories that's changing people's lives all across the country. So we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going because we have quite a bit tonight. The next person I want to bring on the line, like I said before, he actually is a young man. He's young. He's about 20 years old, and he just now got started in my Econ not too long ago. And when he got started in my Econ, I remember his first time really seeing the information. His face was just lit up with joy. And he really enjoyed what we done in my Econ. So it's Khalil Campbell there. Press star 6, Khalil Campbell.
Hey, Kevin, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Khalil. How you doing tonight?
Man, I'm awesome. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing fantastically well. I'm just happy to, be alive and happy to have an opportunity to speak with you tonight.
Definitely. Well,
all right, Khalil.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, Khalil, I just want to say thank you for being on the call. And, what has my Econ done for you?
Man, it's done a lot. But I first start off saying that before I was introduced to my Econ, honestly, I was do it. Actually, I constantly knew I was lost. So, fortunately, I was just trying to find a way. I found my Econ. I've been the cash flow over $11,000.
Wait. Let me pause right there. So since you started my Econ about a year ago, you've been able to cash flow at 20 years old. 20 years old, right?
Yep. $11,000.
$11,000, and that's called cash flow. That's in addition to his job. That's more cash flow he put into his home. So, Khalil, with that, you constantly around people your age. I got a question for you. Are people your age talking about what we talk about in my Econ?
All they talk about is they taxes and how they getting ate up.
Wow. So with that, Khalil, what was that one thing that made you get started on my Econ? Why did you choose my Econ?
I saw it, man. As soon as I seen the presentation, I stood up and I was like, I'm a one. What made me point was saying on you that you just got to catch. So I knew I needed the education. I just didn't know where to find it. And luckily, it was me, so I knew I had to take the opportunity.
Wow. And Khalil, I just want to say thank you for your for continuing to be the leader that you are. And not only are you learning things in my Econ, you actually start helping the youth that are younger than you as well. So just want to thank you for everything that you do. Really appreciate it.
Definitely.
All right, tonight. So I want y'all to understand this. When Khalil says that it was education, they're not teaching this information in schools. You won't have a class in high school that's going to teach you about personal financial success. So Khalil is able to get that, and not only is he helping himself, he's helping people all across the nation as well. So we're going to keep on moving, keep going. Our next caller we have is also, I call him a youngster, is also a youngster. Actually is in college, has a master's degree or going to get a master's degree, has done quite a bit with my Econ and really just, doing more learning right now. I want to bring on the line Destiny. Destiny, are you there? Press star 6. Destiny, are you there?
I'm here.
Star 6. Hey, Destiny, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Doing very, very well. Just staying out of this weather a little bit, but enjoying myself on this call tonight.
Good. It's pretty clear here, so I'm having a good day.
That's real good. So, Destiny, I got a quick question for you. You really want to find this out. What has my Econ done for you? Like, what has it done for you?
Well, for me personally, I've cash flowed back into my home $300 a month. I've been able to kind of track my finances because at first I was just all over the place. I get my money, spend it, pay this bill, that bill, and it kind of got overwhelming for me. Now I kind of got to track on where my money is going and is it really helping me and, helping me to do other things that I need to do as far as like save money and do stuff like that.
Wow. See, most people across America have money. They don't know where it's going, and so by you taking the first step of your finance, you're doing a great job with that. So why did you choose my Econ? Why my Econ for you? What was that one thing that made you say, I need this?
Well, most people don't know this, but when I graduated from Henderson State, I got my degree in finance. So I took all these classes, financial planning, investments, all these different things. They teach you what you need to know to pass the test, but they don't teach you exactly what you're supposed to do. They was like, make a plan. They don't go through, like, how you're supposed to do it and all that different things like that. They showed you, like, how to, research different things and how, find out what their rate of return is on investments. But they don't really go into detail about anything. They just want you to pass the test so that the professor looks good. And just by me doing that, I'm like, I went to school for this, and I still don't know anything. And I'm learning more in my Econ than I have going to school. So I'm really kind of upset about that.
I got a quick question. I want to pause real quick for a second. So you have your degree in finance, and they only taught you to pass the test?
Correct.
So they taught you nothing about personal finance at all?
I took the class. They talked about credit cards, interest rates, and different things like that, stuff that was going to be on the test so you can pass the exam, but they didn't really go into detail about anything at all. Like, it was just a PowerPoint, you covered this, that's what's going to be on the test, you pass the test, you pass the class, that's it. And I passed the class with an A, which tells you that that's how much they're actually teaching you.
Wow. I want to say this real quick, and I'm going to pause real quick. I'm going to bring you back on, Destiny. But think about this for a minute. When you go to college, you spend thousands of dollars, not hundreds, but thousands of dollars to get your degree in finances and to get your degree, what you get it in. The average student loan right now, I think it's over $26,000 that people are going to student loan debt. Here in my Econ, for less than $200, you get a better financial education for your personal finances than most people get for going to college. So, Destiny, am I right in saying that?
That's absolutely correct.
Wow. Destiny, I know you're going to be successful in my Econ. You always have such a positive attitude. Continue to grow and continue to learn as much as possible, because when you stop learning, you stop growing. So thank you. Thank you for being on the call tonight, Destiny.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for inviting me into this wonderful organization. I don't know what my finances would look like if it wasn't for you guys.
You're welcome. You're very much welcome. So we're going to keep it moving. We've heard from a single mom, a 20-year-old recently graduated from high school, and just recently a college graduate has a degree in finances so far. And each one of them says that my Econ has changed their life. So we're going to keep going. We're actually going to go to a person who is retired from a job, retired from corporate America. She used to actually be, I think, in a teaching area. Retired, and she actually has a heart of gold. Her heart is so big that when she retired, she said, you know what, I want to go back and I want to change our young people's lives. And she goes back in the schools now and does teaching. So I'm going to bring on the call tonight Miss Evelyn Wainwright. Are you there? Press star 6, Miss Evelyn Wainwright.
Okay, I'm here. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Miss Evelyn. How are you?
I am doing wonderful.
That's great. It's very good to hear your voice. And Ms. Evelyn, you said something to me the other day about you going back into the school system and really helping kids. Explain to us, why did you go back, and what made you want to go back and help out and give back to the community?
Well, the first thing I wanted to do was just
go back and be, you know how it is to be among people. And I always worked with students in the college level when I lived in another city. And just going back, helping the kids, just kind of giving some wisdom and some of the things that kids don't get these days. And actually, I'm teaching now a resource math class, and it was actually an algebra class, and the teacher said, teach what you know. So I started teaching money and banking. That's what I'm teaching my students there, is what to do with your money and how to do a budget. So that's what we're on right now this week. Yeah.
That's great. That's great, because they need
they don't get.
They need it. They need that budgeting class. And so with that, what has my Econ done for you? Being retired. How's my Econ helped you in your situation?
Well, my Econ has done several things for me. I retired as a state employee, and contrary to what people think, taxes still come out of your retirement check. So just like a paycheck. So I have been able to cash flow over $200 a month just by changing my W-4P. Rather than my W-4, I changed the W-4P.
Explain the W-4P real quick.
The W-4P is for people that receive a retirement check or receive retirement things from if you receive money from your 401k, or if you receive money from a retirement account, or if you receive money from if you have another brokerage account, like from a financial advisor, you do a W-4P.
Okay. So you're able to cash flow $200 a month just by the first strategy, because you're retired, and most people think that when you retire you don't pay taxes, and you actually do. And so with that, you have a great story that you told us. I think it was about a month ago, about how my Econ gave you the education to sit in front of a financial advisor. Tell us that real quick.
Actually, I had my last visit was in July, and normally when I have gone, because I've had an advisor for 8 or 10 years, if not longer, and our visits would be 30 minutes because I didn't understand the things that he was telling me, but I act like I did. But this time I went after my Econ. We had a 2-hour visit, and I was able to ask him questions. I was able to use what I'd learned in my Econ and actually ask him, well, if this is only making 1%, why can't you move it to somewhere, to another account that's making more money? And I started naming some of the accounts that we had been learned about in Tier 5. He said, oh, yeah, I got one of those myself, but I did it personally. I said, okay, then why couldn't, if you're my advisor and I'm paying you, why couldn't you then tell me about it? So.
Wow. Ms. Evelyn, thank you for that story. That what makes the difference is that when you're able to sit in front of someone and you have knowledge and you're able to direct them with because it's your money, and so you have to be able to apply the knowledge you use, because we teach people to get 12% or higher on their investments, and that guy told you, I got my money in there, but I'm not putting yours in there, pretty much.
That's exactly what he told me. He told me exactly that. So I've been able to also transfer some funds from another account that I had not put in the brokerage account. It was paying around 3%, but since my Econ, I opened an investment account that we know that is paying a solid history of 15 to 30%. So I've been able to do that on my own just because of my Econ. I knew nothing about it prior to that.
Wow. Well, Ms. Evelyn, keep on doing what you're doing and keep educating those kids because they need it. And keep growing in the business. You're doing a great job in the business as well. Thank you for everything that you're doing, your support and your leadership.
Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome. So tonight we've heard from a few people from all across the country having success. We just heard from Ms. Evelyn Wainwright, retired. Understand this: when you retire, you don't stop paying taxes. Matter of fact, some people are paying more taxes because they retire without a plan. My Econ is a plan so that you can be able to minimize your taxes, pay off your debt faster, or learn more about investment education, and you can build a business. See, here in my Econ, we have the solutions to almost all of your financial problems or financial challenges. So I'm going to go to another young lady next who has just been doing a wonderful job on my Econ. Actually went to a networking event, I think it was with the Stand Foundation this past weekend or 2 weeks ago, And ever since she got back, she's been on fire. She actually got another person to get started from that networking event. I want to bring on Miss D. D, are you there? Press star 6. D, out of North Arkansas.
Can you hear me?
I sure can. How you doing tonight, D?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing fantastically well. Just enjoying all the stories we're hearing and enjoying being on the call tonight with you all.
Me too. Awesome testimonies.
Exactly. So D, without taking too much of your time, how's my Econ, or what has my Econ done for you?
Oh, Kevin, it's my Econ has done amazing things for me. Before my Econ, I didn't realize how much I was paying in taxes. And since my Econ, I was able to cash back $200 in my paycheck. And next month, I will be done paying my truck note off. And then in the next 3 to 5 years, I'll be through with paying off my mortgage.
Wait, this is what people have to get. And I want you all to listen closely. People normally are in debt with their mortgage for 30 years. I like to call it a lifetime debt. It takes most people a lifetime to pay it off. And you're telling me that you're going to pay your mortgage off in the next 3 to 4 years.
Yes, that's correct.
So let me get this straight. You cash flow $200 back into your check. You're helping people across the nation. I know you're building a pretty nice-sized team with you and the people that you have going. And you're going to be completely debt-free in the next 3 to 4 years. That story alone is enough to make people want to get their life in order and get their finances in order, because there's a lot of people out there right now that's acting rich and living broke. And so
exactly.
I want people to hear this tonight, what's going on. And so, why did you get started, my Econ? Why did you get started, my Econ?
Well, before I started in the year 2014 in December, before my Econ, I already had a mindset that I want to do something different in 2015. So my mind was already set. So when I seen the presentation in January, this is what I needed. I needed to know what to do with my extra money, and not knowing that I was going to get more extra money when I joined my Econ. And so Josh was the person that did the presentation, and I invested my $179 with $300 in my checking account, which I'm so glad because I get it back every month, cash flowing $200. So it made sense to me, and this is what I needed, and I just love to share with everybody that I come across and meet. And I think this is a great, great thing. Use the strategies. The strategies work, and I remember sitting in training with you and Candace, and that's all we talked about was use the strategies, and that's what I do.
And you know what? You do it very well, because you're actually a story for many people that's in my Econ to be able to, follow your lead and take care of the finance, and also be able to live like they want to live. So thank you for all you do. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Look, everyone, we have one more story left, but I need you all to understand this. There are people out there who have a system to get your money. My Econ is a system to teach you how to keep it. And if you don't have a strategy, you don't have a system, you're going to fail. The system is set up for you to fail. And so what you have to do now is take action in your own personal finances and do something today for your family so you can live the life you want to live tomorrow. I have one more person I'm going to bring on the call, and then we're going to do a brief training. I want to bring someone on the call who was, I know he was a professional basketball player for many years. Actually now is giving back to the community. He's with a powerful program there in Tupelo. I'm going to let him explain it to you briefly. I want to bring on the line tonight Mr. Jason Smith. Press star 6. Jason Smith.
Hey, Kevin, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Jason, how you doing tonight?
Doing well. How you doing?
Doing great. Jason, me and you talk quite often. Kind of tell people your background and where you came from and how did you get to my Econ?
Well, I'm from Wheatley, Arkansas. Wheatley, Arkansas. I played basketball at Ole Miss for 4 years, and I played professional ball overseas and domestic. Been around the world, did pretty well. And I ran across, fast forward to future, I ran across my brother-in-law, Marcus Montgomery, and him and Shamika sent me a video talking about my Econ, and I signed up as soon as I saw it because I knew immediately I was going to save some money and I could possibly make some money without selling to people. And that's why I jumped right in. And I knew I was going to help a lot of people because I'm that type of person anyway. I love helping people. That's what I do. I'm a POW director. I love helping kids. I love helping people. And it just fits. It just fit. And I hope that answers your questions, man.
It does. And what it does is, Jason, with your story itself, you've been an inspiration to me because when people meet you for the first time, Jason, you're definitely tall, but your heart is so huge, and you definitely want to give back to people. And so with that, Jason, how has my Econ helped you, in your personal finances? How has it helped you?
Well, it has helped me in a bunch of ways. First of all, I've got $400 back in my check, and I've cash flowed about $16,000. I've been in the business about 8 months. And my Econ has taught me how to be more disciplined with my money. Cool. Now, like I said, I made pretty good money, but I didn't know what I was doing with it. Now I know I'm the CFO of my money. I know exactly where my money is going, what it's doing. I got 2 investment accounts. I'm building for my future. I'm leaving a legacy for my children. This has helped me tremendously, and I'm going to share it till I die. I'm going to share it.
And you know what, Jason? You said something that was that people need to understand. You said that you're leaving a legacy for your family, and I want y'all to hear this real quick. Most people, a lot of people, 95% of Americans are financially stressed, and most people are not leaving a legacy; they're leaving behind bills. And so, right. Jason, by you leaving a legacy for your family, you're already ahead of 95% of people in America. Matter of fact, everyone that's called tonight is 95% ahead of people in America because you're doing something about your money now. And so with that, Jason, I want you to just tell people why did you get started in my Econ? What was your reason why you got started?
Well, to be very honest, I saw I could save some money and make some money. Just being frank. When I saw the video, I was like, okay, I can use these deductions. I can turn my house into a cash flow asset instead of an equity asset. That made me jump right up on it. Then I was like, all I got to share it with 2 people and help 2 people get more money back in their check and get their finances together. Oh, man, I'm going to make a business out of this. So I started running with it. That's it. And that's the truth.
That's what we ask for in my Econ, is people tell the truth. And I always tell people, if you're not telling the truth about your money, it's going to lie to you. And so, Jason, we always got to tell the truth. And so I want to thank you for your leadership, Jason, and continue to keep telling people about my Econ and continue to grow your finances, Jason.
I will. Don't worry. Happy Veterans Day to everybody.
Exactly. Happy Veterans Day again to everyone. And I just want you all to do this. Tonight, these stories are for you to use so you can talk to people about it. Look, we started off with a single parent who's cash flowing an extra $200 or $300 a month in their paycheck, and we'd be debt free in 3 to 5 years. Next, we had a 20-year-old just recently graduated from high school who said he didn't learn anything about finances in high school, and that my Econ changed his life. Then we heard from a person who got their college degree in finances. I want y'all to understand this. In order to get a college degree in America today, you're going to spend, $25,000, $30,000, $40,000. In my Econ, you get a financial education for less than $200, and they don't teach it in college. So now, the next person we moved to was a person that's retired. They retired, and they still pay taxes. Look, when you retire, you still going to pay taxes. It's just the thing is, are you going to pay yourself first, or are you going to pay? Are you going to keep paying the government? And then we move from a person that's retired to another single parent who's going to be completely debt free in the next 3 to 5 years, and she has a mortgage. She has her own home. She's going to pay her car off next month. See, these are the stories that you need to be telling people and that people need to hear across the country because no one else is doing this. There's no one else that's doing this and understanding, the power of their money. So you have to take radical, my mentor, Mr. Charles Thomas, says this, you have to take radical responsibility for your finances because there's a money monster eating away at your wealth every single day. And so I'm going to leave y'all with this tonight. The call has been great. I just want you all to do this for me. I'm going to leave you with 3 things. The first thing I want you to do is when we get off this call, take 10 minutes and go look at your website. It's just recently been updated. It has some great videos on there. Has a lot of great trainings. You got the cashback mile. You got your travel payback site that you have. You also have some cool identity theft things that you have on there. So just go take a look at it. The second thing I want to leave you with is this. If you haven't looked at your W-4 form this year at all, for the new people on the call, 80 to 90% of people have their form filled out wrong. So go back and revisit your W-4 form, and also go back and look at your cash flow strategies. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with this is because sometimes within my Econ, when you are telling people about what we do, you know, people can make you feel inferior. And so my mentor, Mr. Charles Thomas, told me this. No one can make you feel inferior without your permission. You are the only person that can control your self-esteem. And so you need to be happy about what you have in my Econ because you're changing your life and we're changing lives all across the country. So with that, I want to say thank you to everyone. Happy Veterans Day again. Thank you for your service, all the vets on the phone tonight. And we will see each of you all on the other side of success. Have a great night.